Well, let me say that, first of all, Jim was gracious enough to send us a couple tips about what he was going to be talking about. And it wasn't just a couple, it was like 2 pages. My calendar is like as long as my arm. So I'm here trying to be a good steward and be prepared. But I couldn't get past the first line because he had to pick the one passage that I've had major difficulty with in my life. And it's this one right here, Matthew 25:14. And so I hope we stick on this for a while because I'm not prepared for the other stuff. But what I like to do is I'm very strategic in everything I do. So I always surround myself with wisdom. So that's why I stuck myself in the middle of the guys who know what they're talking about.
Yeah, we're the bald hair and the gray hair on the side.
Yeah. So with this, I have trouble with this. And I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but I've always struggled with this passage because when I went back to it as an adult and read it, so I could actually be conscious and understand what's going on, I was very troubled with it. And the reason is because you have the story, this parable, and you have the master that's saying, here's my gold or silver or talents, whatever it might be, this thing of value. Here it is. Hold it for me. I'll be back. Hold it for me. And you have 3 of these people that are given these things.
Yeah.
When he comes back, the first 2, they went out and got interest on it. They put some kind of thing, put it in an investment fund. Who knows what happened? But I do know one thing, that is whenever you get something, well, it doesn't come from nothing. So you're taking risk. So the way I read that is these guys were taking risk on the master's money. That's how I think of things, because you can't get something for nothing. So whatever they did, we don't know, but they must have taken a risk with that money. And so then when he came back and the master asked them what they did for the first 2 guys, come up and tell them about the great returns that they got.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking about how in the Bible, it constantly talks about not being of the things of this world. It talks about not focusing on, or let's do this, not putting usury on others, interest, not charging your family with interest. If you lend them money, don't put interest. So we're constantly being taught in the Bible to not focus on worldly things. Yeah. So I'm here with these 2 guys. I'm thinking, well, these guys are about to get it, for taking that risk and worry about worldly things. But then he praises them. He loves them. And then the one guy who gave him his money, kept his money safe, buried it in the ground, so safe. Yeah. I have gold nuggets I got in the ground right now, especially with what's going on in this country. I think it's the safest thing to do.
That's right.
So, and then he gets damned.
Yeah.
And I'm just shocked because out of the 3 men, he's the one person that followed the instructions. He just did what he was told. Yeah. And then he's damned for it. Yeah. So to this day, I had problems with it. So I had to call my pastor. I'm like, friend Jim, he wants me to talk about this.
I just gave you the questions. I didn't give you the answers to those questions.
No. Yeah. So I asked him for 5 minutes. I got 45. I'm very blessed with Pastor Gary at Glad Tidings. Yeah. And, it really did help me because often in life, especially as men, when we're confused by things or not understand things, we just push them aside. Right. And that's certainly what I've done with this. Yeah. But I feel that I have clarity. Yeah. And really, I think what it's about is grace. We talk all the time as Christians about how we're saved by grace and grace alone. So does that mean we don't utilize our abilities and provide works? Of course, we need to provide works, but it's not that gets us the ticket to heaven. It's not what brings our salvation. Yeah. Jesus Christ on the cross did that, and that's enough. However, he gives us that grace. It's his to give. It's the master's to give. It's God's to give. He gives it to us. And what will we do with that? And the fact of the matter is, as Christians, we need to be that city, that shining city on a hill, because that influences others. It shows people what it is to be a Christian. And through that act, through your actions in life, through being aggressive, through doing things for your family, for doing things for your community, you're showing others what the gospel of Jesus Christ has done for you. And that's why you need to provide on what you've been given. You can't stick that grace in your pocket and say, I'm good. I'm just going to sit around for 70 years and see what happens. Yeah. No, you need to provide. You need to be active and work with it. That's all I got. Good night.
Yeah.